A very good day to you. I'm Hank Gross, Mid-HudsonNews.com. It's Tuesday, June 27th. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run. Poughkeepsie native Roy Johnson Jr., dubbed the Courtyard Killer, was sentenced to 58.5 years to life in prison on Monday by Dutchess County Court Judge Edward McLaughlin. Johnson, who was previously sent to prison for burglary and robbery, was convicted in May of this year of murdering 53-year-old Paul Coots at the Courtyard by Marriott Hotel in the town of Poughkeepsie in October 2022. Before sentencing, Johnson heard from the victim's widow, Natalie, and brother Andrew, who both told of the devastating effects Johnson's heinous crimes have caused.
I stand here today a broken person. My heart is broken with the overwhelming grief that I will never see Paul again. And my mind is broken that a beautiful family weekend could end in such a violent tragedy. Roy Johnson ended Paul's life, but he also shattered the lives of myself and my boys.
Andrew Kutch, the victim's business partner in their accounting firm, spoke of all the good times he had with his little brother before asking Judge McLaughlin to impose a life sentence on Johnson for what he called a brutal, senseless act. Dinosaurs could be roaming the earth once again as a committee of the Orange County Legislature yesterday took the first step at creating a dinosaur amusement park. A developer has expressed interest in building a theme park with life-size mechanical beasts, and the Physical Services Committee started the ball rolling on the idea. Under the plan, the county would sell the town of Montgomery 140 acres of land it owns between Bracken Road and Route 17K for just over $2 million. The property would only be used for tourism recreation purposes. Stephen Brescher, who's mayor of the village of Montgomery and a county legislator, supports the plan.
I think it's, one of the few chances that we have to sell property for what it's worth. We've taken haircuts on many properties since I've been here over the years with Salesian, Camp LaGuardia, the Dutchess Quarry, which might never happen. You have the town of Montgomery board unanimously supporting this.
The sale of the property will have to be approved by the full county legislature before it could be sold to the town of Montgomery. The Ellenville Central School District has agreed to a settlement with a former student who was raped several times by a former teacher between 2006 and 2010. The former teacher, Thomas Nolan, was arrested in 2010, pled guilty, and was sentenced to prison for the rape. He was released in 2015. The former student claimed the Ellenville School District administrators negligently ignored complaints and warnings about the teacher's behavior, such as abnormal displays of affection, absences from class with the girl, being repeatedly seen alone with the girl in the school building and elsewhere, according to attorney Marty Rutberg, who, along with his partner Larry Breslow, represented the former student. One person whose warnings went unheeded was a member of the Board of Education, who also named other possible victims of the same teacher, says Rutberg. More news right after this.
Find over 100 retailers allowing you to spend hours shopping safely at the Galleria at Crystal Run. Enjoy the big brands and the diverse selection of family-owned stores all in one location. The Galleria at Crystal Run offers dining options for everyone with Fuji 110 Grill, Allen's Mediterranean Grill, and Peru Cuisine. Discover the Mid-Hudson Valley's premier shopping, dining, and entertainment destination, the Galleria at Crystal Run. For more information, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or visit GalleriaCrystalRun.com.
A 36-year-old Middletown man was sentenced in Orange County Court yesterday to 12 years to life in state prison in connection with his guilty plea to attempted criminal possession of a weapon. Wayne Lewis was also sentenced to a concurrent term of 9 years in prison related to his plea to criminal possession of a controlled substance. District Attorney David Hoover says because of his criminal history, which includes 2 prior violent felony convictions, Lewis was found to be a persistent violent felony offender, which resulted in the maximum term of his sentence being life in prison. The city of Beacon's first career fire chief, Gary Van Voris, ended his career with a retirement ceremony at City Hall last night. Van Voris, a Dutchess County native, served in the Peoria, Illinois Fire Department for 46 years before moving back home and taking the job in Beacon in 2013. He acknowledged that being a firefighter requires a lot of sacrifice.
Our life as a firefighter is not an 8-to-5 job. It's long, as rotating schedule infects the family life at our home.
Van Voris began firefighting when he was 16 and reflected on how his mother would drive him to the firehouse since he was too young to drive himself. Former Newburgh Assistant Fire Chief Thomas Lucchese is the new chief in the Beacon Department. It's been over a week since 36-year-old Matthew Russo was last seen walking away from Garnett Health Medical Center Catskills on Father's Day, June 18th. Members of the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, led by Sergeant Blake Starner, have been combing the area daily.
Throughout the course of this, I'd say 8 to 10 members minimum from my office, physically searching from the hospital. By the crow flies, I would say probably that's 6-7 miles, on foot, in vehicles, and now with UTV.
There's been no evidence to indicate in which direction Russo traveled, and that includes reviewing video from cameras in private homes along several roads in the area of the hospital. A 60-year-old front seat passenger in a Honda CR-V was killed when a Kia Forte was driving the wrong way and struck the other vehicle, Newburgh Town Police say. The crash occurred after 10 p.m. last Saturday on Route 9W near Conway Road in Middle Hope. Police say the Kia, operated by a 44-year-old woman, was traveling south on Route 9W. The Honda, driven by a 50-year-old man with 3 passengers, including a 10-month-old baby, collided when police said it's believed the Kia was traveling southbound in the northbound lane. The seriously injured woman was transported to the hospital, where she was later pronounced dead, police said. A construction worker on the grounds of Mount St. Mary College in Newburgh was injured when a backhoe he was operating overturned yesterday. City firefighters set up equipment to secure the machine, while Mobile Life Support Services paramedics attended to the operator. He was removed from the device and taken to the hospital. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run.